Looks good to me. Yeah. We're finally gonna get this old hunk of junk cleaned up today.
Yes, today is the day.
Today is the day. And it is about 25 degrees, a little breeze, lots of sunshine, and just a little bit of high altitude cloud. Who could ask for more?
Perfect.
So, we haven't done a lot with this thing so far in terms of mechanical stuff, but Judy has cleaned the inside out very phenomenally.
3 times.
3 times. But we still need to buy a mirror for it and get a transmission in it and all these kinds of little things. But we figured, since it is such a beautiful day, why not clean the thing up?
It's time.
It is time, yeah. So we're gonna get out the old hose and bucket and some soap and sponges and do what we can to make this thing look shiny and clean again. It sat for a very long time. Well, I say a very long time, months if not maybe a year, and a lot of gunge has accumulated, but really not as badly as it would have if it sat down here in lower southern BC. This was in a very cold part of BC, northern BC, and most of the time it sat in the snow, so not a lot of mildew in that has accumulated, which is what we would have dealt with if it was hanging around here. But it does need a very good clean, and it will be very nice to have a clean vehicle finally. So let's get to it.
Yes, sounds good.
Well, it is getting cleaner. One of the issues with this thing is that all the wiper blades are completely worn out, which is unsurprising. So we're going to replace all of those, starting with the back. We had to remove the tire in order to do that. You can see there, they have seen better days. So we'll start on the rear one, and then we'll pop some new ones on the front, and it will be nice to have clean, washed and wiped windows again. Sometimes the littlest things make the nicest difference. Ta-da! It has been resurrected from, not the grave, but from the dirt. What do you think? A lot cleaner now. Even the wheels are sparkling. We didn't do the wheel wells, but we'll do that next time. We also didn't do the roof. Kind of forgot about that, if I'm completely honest. And by the time I got back here, I went and I had to meet somebody for a little marketplace deal. But by the time I got back, Judy had already beautifully cleaned the outsides of the windows, so we skipped the roof for today. But it's looking real good inside and out. Huge transformation compared to how it used to be. As Judy pointed out, it certainly shows off some of the scratches a little better now. This particular one, as I mentioned in one of the other videos, is going to have to get knocked out a little bit to be able to fit a new tail light in there half decently, but otherwise the body's not in terrible shape except for the one massive cave in on the rocker panel there, which I will approach in another video, and we'll sort that out as well. But what a difference. Clean and tidy. And I scrubbed under the hood here a fair bit. You can see it came up quite nicely. I kind of missed back there behind the battery. I kind of missed back there by the windshield wiper motor. I kind of missed back there in the middle, and I kind of missed back down there. But the easier to get to areas are nice and clean. Another day I will go ahead and do a bit more of the harder to clean stuff. And we noticed that there's a ton of what do you call it, pine needles and stuff down in the little valence there, or cowling there. So we'll pull that plastic off one of these days soon and blow that all out and clean that really well. And the other area that was full of pine needles and junk was these plastic rocker covers on both sides. So we'll pull those off and clean in there and check the shape of the rockers. I mean, obviously the one on this side is ruined, but it could be that this rocker's in good shape. Otherwise, I will be fixing it. I sell on my website replacement rocker panels for the 4-doors. I don't know of any other company that offers them, and mine are very, very nice quality. They are 16 gauge cold rolled steel and ready for your weld up. So you need to know how to fabricate, but if you do need some replacement panels for your 4-door, I have them. Check them out, www.bomberfab.com. The lady in red, the little red devil. But it's nice to have it clean and comfy and no longer gross and chicken coopy. If you'll remember, it was kind of a chicken coop before, or at least it held all of the supplies and food and crap for a chicken coop. And boy, is it far from that now. We need to get a replacement panel for that guy too. Another thing I did actually was throw some transmission fluid in it. I don't know if you remember that this thing was not shifting well at all, and it had an issue where when you put the brakes on and come to almost a complete stop, the transmission kind of lurches and then seems to disconnect and has some weird stuff going on that way. So I figured for sure it's a transmission replacement coming up, and probably it is. I checked the fluid level, which was a brilliant thing to do after owning it for about a month. It's very, very low. In fact, it didn't even register on the dipstick. Now, having said that, I couldn't take it for a long drive and get the transmission properly warmed up how I should have. But you know, it should register something on the dipstick, even completely cold. So we filled it up a little bit. It's registering now, and I think we'll take it for a little cruise. It's not insured, but we'll just go around the parking lot a whole bunch of times and maybe make one sneaky trip around the block. And then we'll come back, and maybe I'll let you know if we had any improvements thanks to the fluid input. As Judy pointed out, I should have done a walk around with the doors closed as well. We're running out of sunlight here, but you can see how nice and shiny it is, even in the shade. What a difference a wash makes. It'd be nice to get rid of these crappy old beat up bumpers and put some Balmer Fab bumpers on it, get rid of that destroyed rocker panel and put some Balmer rocker panels on it, followed by some Balmer rock sliders, a skid plate on the front probably, almost certainly, and maybe a little lift and some tires. Would suit this thing quite well.
Absolutely. She's going to look gorgeous
Yes.
one day.
I don't know if they'll hear you because I have my mic on, but she was saying she's going to look gorgeous one day. All right, we're going to go for a drive, see if that transmission has improved at all. Well, that didn't work. The transmission definitely is buggered. Now I'm no expert on transmissions, but what I do know is when you accelerate to the point that it wants to shift to second gear, instead of shifting to second gear, it just basically seems to go into neutral and then starts stinking and smoking. And again, when you go to a stop or to almost a stop, the transmission seems to cut out and then you have nothing connecting it to the wheels, and then after a little bit it'll kick back in again. So something is truly wrong with the transmission, and I think we'll probably, unless we can get an expert opinion on it, just replace it with a donor transmission. But you can see it out here in the nice light now. Shiny, shiny. Jerry approves. And look at what came off of it. We didn't go four-wheeling before this or anything. That is the dirt that it came with. Some northern BC mud.
We purchased that mud.
Yes, we bought that mud for good money. Anyway, we're done here for the day. I think it's time to go have some supper with my mom. A nice rib dinner with the mother, which I prepared. Hopefully it's not too spicy for her. And thanks for joining us. Yay. We'll see you next time when we do a little more with the Red Devil, or
The Lady in Red.
the Lady in Red.
Yes.
Take care. Be well.